What's happening, everybody, and welcome to episode 21 of the Good Kraken podcast. I am one of your hosts, Ernell Pearson, alongside the inevitable one, Devin Stanford.
Hola, how's it going, man?
Oh, it's lit, dude. And, of course, our esteemed guest here, the Makua himself, the face of Polynesian representation on Twitch.tv, our boy IslandStyle. How you doing, baby?
Aloha, how are you guys doing? It's good to be here.
Oh man, it's been wild since the last time we had you on, dude. Those moves you've been making, man. Things have been crazy, dude. What's new? What's happening?
Much. I mean, Twitch honored me by letting me be the representative for Hawaiian culture for the month of May for Asia Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Just hosted a charity tournament raising funds for homeless youth in Hawaii. We raised about $21,000 in one night with this tournament. We did just some big stuff, and
yes,
you know, it's been an honor and a pleasure, and I hope that I've been representing my ohana correctly.
Dude, that's an understatement. You've been doing amazing, man. Like, just watching your streams, watching the steps you've been taking, the things that you've been doing. I mean, like, you had your parents on, watching you get that kill on Apex, getting that win on there, dude.
Oh, I cried,
dog. Your crying made me want to, like, I had that like one single tear shit going on because I was like, dude, I couldn't even imagine, man. Like, your parents seeing your comeuppance recently has just been, dude, you're doing bonker shit over there, man. I'm so proud of you, dude. Especially like from the first episode we had you on here, dude. Like your life has been changing left and right. Like, we're stoked for you, man. Like, you've been doing it. You've been doing the thing, dude. Now, what's your plans going forward? You got any big things you want to announce right off the bat, or anything else you're looking at?
It's been kind of tough. All my energy has been really going towards this charity tournament. We put it together in about 3 weeks, so next year we'll give ourselves a lot more lead time. But I will say, June is a big month. It's Pride Month, so we're going to be focusing and trying to highlight a lot of our friend creators that are LGBTQIA plus. We'll be raising money sometime for the Transgender Legal Defense Fund. We are part of Team SideQuest. I don't know if anyone knows who that is, but it's a stream team dedicated towards charitable work. So we're all that's our big campaign for June, is the Transgendered Legal Defense Fund. So we'll be raising money for that sometime through June. July, I turned 27 on July 4th. So I'll probably do some kind of celebration for that. But honestly, nothing huge right now. But I think we're taking a lot of this momentum. We're going to try and push forward and see if we can get a pretty purple check mark in the next 6 months or so.
Hey, it's lit. It's going to be tight. Did you just say your birthday's 4th of July?
It is. Yes, it is.
How hype with
is
America?
That?
How hype is that? As far as like having like fireworks on your birthday, do you ever like move that a little more personally?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I like to say that America's popping off for me, but
yeah, it is, baby. You know,
that's the world we live in. So that's what I'm gonna remember it as.
There you go. It's my birthday, not America.
Hey, that's what I'm saying, dude. Yeah, seriously, just watch like on 4th of July this year. I'm gonna make you a video and post it on Twitter of me like shotgun one and out for my boy's birthday.
Hey, I'll make one shotgunning back too. I'm not no problem.
Hey, let's go.
Let's just get a shotgun train going on Twitter.
Maybe that's what I was doing. Hey, you know what? Don't wish me a happy birthday. Send me a video of you shotgunning, and then I'm just gonna make a huge thread of just everyone.
Doesn't matter what it is, just shotgun.
I'm telling you, hashtag shotgun for Island, dude. It's gonna be
Island shotgun. Love it,
dude. I'm so for it now. We have to make this up. It's gonna be a thing, dude. It's gonna be amazing.
We'll make it a thing.
But
sure.
You know what else is a thing, boys? Is us, because today we're not talking about shotgunning, at least for right now. Today we're going to be talking about Horizon Forbidden West changing our lives, Dying Light 2 details, and the PI in AAPI, and much, much more, because this is the Good Kraken podcast, a show for nerdy, marginalized people giving you the video game and pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you want to hear live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Saturday at 1 p.m. If you're watching live, you can submit questions and topics at tinyurl.com/goodksubmissions or GK submissions, to be a part of the show, or you could just drop it in the chat. We like to interact with you guys in the chat. That's totally fine. If you're having a good time so far, you can watch us record this show live and ad-free by following and subscribing right here at twitch.tv/goodkrakenshow. If you have Amazon Prime, you also have Twitch Prime. We would love for you to give that to us or give it to our lovely IslandStyle right here to help keep us pushing pushing content out for all of you listening or watching at home. But if you've emptied your pockets for the latest and greatest in entertainment, you can catch our episodes on your podcast service of choice at 8 a.m. the next day. But you can also support us by going to our YouTube channel by clicking the link in the About section of our Twitch page right down below and clicking that beautiful bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Good Kraken with an exclamation mark and leaving a review there. Devin, we only have a couple things on our planner work here today, and really just talking about next Tuesday. We're not doing a show because we need a fucking break. It is Memorial Day weekend. We are trying to oh wow, I almost hit the Nolan horn a little early, but we are going to take next Tuesday off to kind of, reset ourselves, get prepared for E3 and all the crazy announcements and stuff that's going to be happening in June, because we're about to get real busy here with playing games, and I'm sure Island, our boy here, can agree things are going to be wild in June. It's going to be fun, but we will be back next Thursday. We're going to be streaming Knockout City, because this game is fun as shit, dude. I love this game. So fun. Bro, it's going to be great. Really Island, dude, you are more than welcome to come and hang out with us for that stream, man, because it is lit. This game's lit. We played for a couple hours last night. Devin was, Quattro crazy, as he calls it.
Yeah, I got MVP.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Devin got an MVP for a match. So that was good to know. But this game is awesome. We're gonna be streaming that on Thursday. Come in and hang out with us. And then next Saturday, we're starting off with our Pride Month celebrations, having some guests on all June that are part of the LGBTQIA2 plus community. And we're still working on the kinks on who we're having for our first Saturday guest. But we have a couple people we're talking to, and we are super excited to do this month. We have lots of different people that we have lined up, ready to go. It's going to be a fun month. We're super excited. But with that said, Devin, hit me with that with some of that Nolan buildup, baby. You know what I'm saying? Because we have 3 items on our news story today. It's lit. We got the horn. It's sick. So I want to start us off here. We are talking first off about the Horizon Forbidden West stuff that happened here. Now, Island, did you play Horizon Zero Dawn?
I did. I didn't play through the whole thing. I played it for a little while. I had a PS4. I got it, and then I sold my PS4 the next month to build my PC. So I didn't get super far, but the gameplay between the stealth, the landscape, everything, it is a fantastic game. I understand why there's so much hype around it and so much hype around this sequel as well.
It looks good.
I'm actually really good. I've told myself that I have to play now that Zero Dawn is on PC. I was like, I should probably play through it before this next one comes out. Inevitably not on PC, so I'll have to bust out the old PS5 and play it on that.
Man, I'm saying, yeah,
I like how you're saying the old PS5 already.
I know. Flex counter.
I did try to downplay it a little bit, but yeah.
That's okay. We don't blame you. Yeah, I haven't beaten Zero Dawn yet, and I'm honestly kind of contemplating getting it on my PC so I can get a better experience visually. That's not quite PS5 because I'm not good enough, apparently.
Oh, wow.
But I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about doing it on PC instead and kind of seeing if that changes some of my gameplay experience. That'll be a lot of fun. But anyway, so I'm gonna move us over to a thing here. We're gonna be playing some of the gameplay while we talk about this, and from the state of play itself that they put out. While I read this off, go ahead and we'll play that there. Oh, that's looking sexy, dude. It's lit. All right, cool. So this is Horizon Forbidden West State of Play. Lots of new gameplay, but no release date yet. This comes from Kat Bailey at IGN. It reads like this: we now know a bit more about Horizon Forbidden West. Sony showed quite a bit of gameplay today in its State of Play stream, as well as some new enemies. However, PlayStation declined to reveal a new release date for its anticipated tentpole release. In a PlayStation blog following the state of play, Guerrilla Games narrative director Ben McCaw wrote, quote, "We don't have an exact release date yet, but development is on track and we'll have an update for you very soon," end quote. Instead, we were treated to an extended snippet of Horizon Forbidden West gameplay. Over the course of 14 minutes, we got to see new tools, combat techniques, and machines as Guerrilla Games showed off the upcoming sequel. The demo begins with Aloy finding an ambushed survivor who says that local raiders have machines on their side. Sure enough, a raider appears riding a velociraptor-like machine as Aloy takes cover. That sounds sick. We're given a glimpse of Aloy being chased by the machines, using smoke bombs to throw off their pursuit as they try and flank and surround her. Aloy is finally pushed to leap into the water, where we're treated to a gorgeous rendition of the new underwater exploration. The footage shown is reminiscent of Subnautica, with schools of fish swimming as Leviathan-like machines glide past. The demo finishes with Aloy looking over a map for her next destination, and the arrival of a strange red storm, a blight that could destroy all life. A storm is coming, and it's almost here. Devin, I don't know. Oh, wow. YouTube ad. Okay, we'll go ahead and click that. Devin, how did you take seeing this stuff? Because it looks beautiful, dude.
Yeah, no, it looks gorgeous. It's really like, look at all the coloring too. I can't wait to see this game actually in person, like HDR 4K, because that water looks amazing. The lush landscape looks really good. One thing I noticed when I watched the trailer originally is the movement in the sand. You can see like the way that her feet sink into the sand like it would in real life when you're trying to run around. It slows you down just a little bit, and just like the way that it moves across the ground was really cool. I had one complaint from the Horizon Zero Dawn was the cutscenes. It felt like the animations between the characters was very robotic.
Yes.
One thing that this gameplay footage showed me is that they fixed that. They listened to people on that and they fixed it. It looks more lifelike. But like from the first game, that was like my only complaint, really, honestly, because it's really fun. And it looks like they also put a lot into the hand-to-hand combat in this game too. Later on in this little footage here, there's a part where she goes against some raiders and does some hand-to-hand combat, and it looks a lot more fluid, like a traditional like third-person action game, which is really cool as well.
Right. Yeah, dude, this looks hard. This looks like it goes hard, dude. This game is gonna be straight gas. It looks beautiful. Island, dude, you're gonna, if you pick this up, you're gonna be playing on PlayStation 5. That's gonna be the full experience on this. Where are your thoughts so far, just looking at the last couple of minutes here?
I mean, to be honest, like the concept behind the Horizon series has always been awesome. Like the idea that you're kind of going back to this like prehistoric era with the idea that machines are bad, or they're like the concept of like machines are these monsters that can kill you, but you can also use the technology and in your benefit. I think the first game was incredible. I love the concept behind it. And then to watch how they've incorporated, I am a movement fiend. I love the reason I play Apex so much is because of how good the movement is. I love playing Titanfall. If you guys remember Mirror's Edge, I love Mirror's Edge because I love any game that has some kind of parkour or movement mechanics. That's the reason why Spider-Man games are so much fun. And so to see her have a grapple now, to see some of the way the movement is more fluid between the different objectives and how she's moving around. Even the underwater, I'm not the biggest fan of like underwater exploration kind of things. Shout out to Legend of Zelda for ruining that for me forever with the water temple, but like this looked beautiful. Like you're absolutely right. The lighting that they use in here, of course, tech demos, you got to be careful that it doesn't oversell what you're going to be getting later on. But it even looks 80% or 70% close to what this looks like right now. I'm jazzed beyond all belief to go watch and play this.
Yeah, dude, this underwater shit right now is blowing my fucking mind right now.
It looks
just
insane.
like the way that the light is shining through the water, like it would in real life. I've only been to Hawaii a couple times in my life, but that's very like reminiscent of snorkeling and stuff there.
Can we also talk about how those water textures are just gonna make old consoles explode? because
Yeah. Pay attention to her movement in the sand right here. This was it looks like, I mean, even them like treading through that really shallow water. It's just like the foot movement and the way that everything connects and the physics behind it is just really impressive, and it's really highlighting like how this next gen is shaping up between the consoles and these 30 series cards and stuff, and the technology they're coming out with.
Man, this is really giving me this elephant status is giving me really like Lord of the Rings status.
Right. Return of the King. Right.
Are coming.
It's nuts, man. Like oh my gosh, like I cannot say it enough, like how exciting it is to be a fucking gamer right now, because because games are just looking better and better and better. And I remember too playing like The Last of Us Part 2 and trying to play games after that. I had what I like to call the God of War effect, where after we had played God of War 2018, it felt like every game afterwards was just obsolete, because God of War felt so smooth, so good. The story was amazing. The gameplay was amazing. And it was just every game afterwards for the following like 6 months just did not feel up to par. And like now we're starting to get so many games that feel reminiscent to that feel reminiscent to Last of Us Part 2, the original Horizon. This one now, like this is what games are going to look like, boys. Like going for,
I'm
like,
excited.
It's so exciting, dude.
The concept that video games play the way that movies look is exciting. The idea that you have, I mean, the idea behind video games is that it's a movie that you control, and that we're now catching up with the cinematic quality of how good movies like Marvel movies look now, and we play games that look like that or better, and we control the characters. We get to live out our fantasies. And you're right, like the fact that it's tough to look back at older games and be like, oh, that's like at the time that was top tier quality. Now you look at what we have now, like the technical capabilities of video games have just become so incredible, and now you're getting so much more immersed into stories and into these worlds that these creators are developing, and the fact that we can match the storytelling with the technology is just incredible.
Incredible, dude. I'm super excited for it. Devin, can you hit us with our next story here?
Absolutely. So, Far Cry 6 release date set with a new gameplay reveal, and this comes from Liana Ruppert over at Game Informer. Far Cry 6 release date has been revealed alongside an extensive first look at the next step in Ubisoft franchise will have to offer. From petting those good puppers out there to riding horses, and the latest Far Cry looks to be an adventure. The latest Far Cry title is set to release on October 7th, as revealed in the character trailer released below. Showing off more of the faces of Far Cry 6, including a new look at Anton Costello, as played in, oh my god, I can't say that first name, I'm sorry, but Esposito.
Giancarlo. That's
Giancarlo, oh my gosh, my rating
is...
okay. Breaking Bad and everything. Yeah, he's a fantastic actor, by the way,
so good,
actually.
So good. Continue.
Set in a fictional world of Yara, Anton's dictatorship role was heavily inspired by his father, the former president of this location. Following dear old dad's execution after the people of Yara rebelled, Anton grew up and fixated on the belief that this island was stolen from him and his family by those that rebelled. As he grew up, the idea of control became more than enticing. As Castillo family continued to grow in power, when the son eventually became El Presidente, he sought to rebuild Yara in his own image. Rebellion, unlike lightning, does often strike in the same place twice, which is what the latest look at Far Cry 6 shows. There are many faces that are leading this new quest for freedom. We'll have a few deeper dives into the world of Far Cry 6 here soon on the site, so keep it tuned in here at Game Informer and learn more about the many new faces players will meet and the features that we can be enjoyed. Far Cry 6 is set to arrive October 7th on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, PC, Google Stadia, and Amazon Luna. Boys, I watched that trailer earlier. This game looks really fun. I'm not gonna lie. It looks really, really fun.
Does it remind anyone else a little bit of Cuba at all? Like like not to get political about it, but like just the environments and kind of the concepts of rebellion, especially against a dictatorship, etc. It has a very like that kind of island
Yeah.
like rebellion kind of feel. It looks beautiful. I've actually, let me be real honest here, I've actually don't think I've played through any Far Cry games. I played a little bit of 3 way back in the day, and I've heard only good things. But
yeah, no, 3 is definitely the best one in my opinion. They do a lot of denying, saying that the Far Cry games are not political in any way, but they're very conveniently coming out with a political like statement that is very adjacent to things that are happening at the same time. You know, like when Far Cry 5 came out, it was right at the beginning of, you know, Trump's presidency, and you know there was a lot of religious zealots out there, and that game was focused around a religious cult that was the antagonist of the game for that iteration. So they kind of do tend to highlight that stuff, but they do it in an indirect way.
Fictional
in that
character,
sense.
fictional world.
Yeah.
I haven't really got a chance to play through Far Cry either. I know the last main release, Far Cry 5, was beloved with a lot of people. They really liked that open RPG, like sort of feel that they started introducing into it, and so it's this one specifically kind of speaks to me in a weird way. Like I feel like I never really had an interest in Far Cry because shoot, bang bang adventure, you know, like, and that's totally fine. But like there was something about the games that just never really like hooked me, like caught my interest. But there's something about this one that's just hitting the spot for me, and I'm like very interested in seeing like if it's like maybe just because of the story itself, that like how the pieces are playing that just hook me in, or the guns apparently just look absurd.
A little crazy right now.
Yeah.
Like that CD shooter kind of, it reminds me of, what was the game that came out when Xbox One first, Sunset Overdrive. Remember that game? You know how they had like the absolute craziest of guns, and you were supposed to be able to just like wall ride everything. There's like some guns in this that kind of look like that. I'm like, that's kind of suspending belief a little bit, which is kind of fun. I actually like that. It reminds me of a little bit too of like the Just Cause games, where everything could explode and you could literally just do whatever you wanted. I love that. Like there are definitely places in gaming for like hyper realistic, you know, gunplay and situations, but there's also definitely places for suspension of belief. And that's kind of
absolutely
fun to get into.
Absolutely, and that makes some of the most fun games out there. One thing I do want to say is that Far Cry 6 is the first mainline Far Cry game to have a female protagonist. Every other game has just been like a white dude, you know,
random white dude.
Yeah. So even when they were in Nepal, you know, in Far Cry 4. Yeah,
it kind of reminds me of that kind of like, again, the harkening to like the what was it, what's the big PlayStation exclusive game, not Max, oh my god, I'm really blanking right now,
from
what's in
PS4 or
PS4 or like the PlayStation, it's like a PlayStation series, they turn it into a movie. It's an Explorer, not Indiana
Max
Jones.
Payne?
No, not
Uncharted.
Max Payne. Uncharted,
Oh,
where they they changed from Nathan Drake. That's who it was. Nathan Drake was the main character for 4 or 5 games, and then they made a spin-off game where you had the sisters, right? Or
it was a love interest.
The love interest, yeah, and you got to play her, and so you know, the concept that we're starting to bring in women as protagonists, especially not in just like gendered, where it feels like they're gendered roles, but they're actually like the action superstars or the fighting superstars in these, you know, military, even first person shooters. It's just kind of nice to see that being brought in more.
Yeah, I mean, we had that with Returnal for the most recent release I can think of, you know, female protagonist. Also, I mean, look at Mass Effect too. You know, they got femshep and male shep, and they even added femshep shep to Mass Effect 1, which she was originally not in. You know,
I didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't know that either. Wow.
Yeah. They brought in the same character model that they put in Mass Effect 3, because I mean, you could make a female, but there wasn't a standard like that's Shepard, you know, just like how there was for the male one, you know.
Right.
So, and
you know
that even
go ahead.
I was going to say that even changes the storylines a little bit too, you know.
You know how many people have yelled at me because I haven't played any of the Mass Effects?
Same.
Well, right now it's a good time to play it. So
It's a great time. So like,
Yeah.
I'm just adding to that backlog. Just
I'm right there with you,
dude,
man.
I know. And I'm sitting here telling myself like now that like me and Devin aren't doing quite as much Apex as we were for the past month, I might hop back into Mass Effect, but I can't stop thinking about Apex, so I might be lying to myself. I might just straight up be just trying to fool myself. But we'll see. We'll get there. We'll get there. On that note, though, I am very interested in seeing how they start mainlining more female protagonists, more women in gaming. You know, like in the games that we're playing to really bring in that perspective. And I love stories that revolve around that don't just make it about like, oh, this character is a woman. It's just they so happen to be the protagonist in the story, and they just so happen to be a woman. And I like that being the main focus in a lot of games. Like the first one that comes to mind is like Beyond Two Souls, where it was like her being a woman was not the key part of the story. It was just she was a woman, and the thing was happening to her just so happened to be happening to her. You know, and the story ended up being fucking phenomenal in that game. Horizon Zero West is like, you know, Aloy is
Zero West, huh?
Zero West, yeah. Horizon
Dawn.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That sounds way cooler. Forbidden Dawn, yeah. Aloy is, you know, obviously a woman protagonist in that game, but that's not really like the focus. The focus for her in the game is more so about just the coming of age story and like going off on her own, so on and so forth. And so I love games that do that. I love games that have that dynamic, you know. So it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. But also, segue, what else is interesting is we finally got Dying Light 2 details here, and it is hype hours. So this is Dying Light 2 launches in December. This comes from Michael McWhirter, from Polygon, and it reads like this. So it's an open world zombie action game, Dying Light 2, now known as Dying Light 2 Stay Human, will be released on December 7th. Developer Techland announced Thursday during a live stream titled Dying to Know. The game had been genius. Bing, bing, bang, you know. The game had been previously delayed indefinitely and was originally planned for a spring 2020 launch. Dying Light 2 Stay Human is bound for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Windows PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. The sequel will send players to the city, capital C, described by Techland as, quote, mankind's last stronghold in the fight, end quote, against the virus that turned the population of Haran into zombie-like creatures in Dying Light. The day-night cycle and parkour-inspired traversal of the original game will return in Dying Light 2. Players will take control of a new protagonist, Aiden Caldwell, who joins up with a group of survivors known as the Night Runners. Techland announced Dying Light 2 at E3 2018 and showed off gameplay the following year. In our preview of the game from E3 2019, we compared it to a first-person action movie. Quote, it can be dizzying at times, with the main character leaping from rooftop to rooftop, then grappling with enemies at close range. We wrote at the time. At other times, it can be downright frightening, with tense standoffs against the undead deep inside dark cavernous buildings. For Dying Light latecomers, Techland has a new bundle featuring the original Dying Light and all of its downloadable content called Dying Light Platinum Edition. That version is available for PS4, Windows PC, and Xbox One via the PlayStation Store, Steam, GOG, and Xbox Game Store. Do you boys plan on replaying Dying Light 1? I don't know if you played it or not, Island.
I was going to say, let me correct you, because I am planning on playing it for the first time. I can't believe, as someone who has said I love traversal and parkour and stuff like that, I have always wanted to play Dying Light, and I never worked it into my schedule. And, you know, the idea, it reminds me of, do you guys remember that movie Hardcore Henry?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that movie is
Hardcore Henry. I think they like literally got pulled from theaters because it gave too many people like vertigo and like crazy like vomiting and stuff like that. But it's like same concept of like, you are first person running. Like, this is supposed to give you an idea of like, would you, I mean, it's not a real idea, but like, would you survive a zombie apocalypse? Could you get away? Could you run? Could you, you know, paying attention to that day night cycle? There were so many cool things that Dying Light did that was very different from your normal zombie game. that I think that deserves for people to go take a look. If they've never played this game, play the Platinum Edition, try the DLC, try out, and get ready for this new game, because as we've been seeing with all these other, like literally all we've been talking about today have been all these sequels that have just built upon what the original did and made it even better with the better technology. Dying Light 2 is just going to be an even more like tense thriller zombie experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Devin, what are your thoughts on it?
I own Dying Light and all the DLC, and it is good. It is good. Facts. Oh yeah, no, it's really fun. You know, like I was saying on one of our previous shows, I love Dead Island as well. You know, from the same publisher and everything. I hope I get to see that someday. But yeah,
Dead Island too. Yeah.
It definitely play it, especially if you like any zombie games. If you like traversal, you know, if you, it's very similar to Titanfall 2 in the running aspect of it. Actually, I mean, not like the wall running thing. It's not like you're going to be, you know, running 30 feet across the wall, but there's a lot of parkour. Actually, probably closer to Mirror's Edge with zombies is what I would say.
Yeah, Mirror's Edge with zombies. Okay. Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, it's a fun game. It definitely makes you pucker up a little bit, you know, when it's nighttime and you come around a horde. But yeah, I'm excited to see more of the game too, and to see where it goes from there.
Yeah, I'm thinking about playing the first one because I think I played a few hours of it, and then I was kind of like, I don't know if I got the emotional capacity for this right now, and then I just never went back to it. I think I'm probably gonna play the first one, give it like a fair shake, and when we get a little bit closer to whatever date they announced for the second one, that's kind of what I'm looking at now. Is like, okay, so Horizon, and then there's Far Cry.
You gotta plan it all out.
I'm just gonna schedule my doing it based around whatever, you know, dates they release for it. I'm excited for it. I know a lot of people have been waiting for Dying Light 2 for a fucking minute now, dude. Like, there's a lot of people excited for this. But again, it goes back to what we were saying earlier about like games going forward looking real good, because let's be real here, Dying Light 2 is going to look real good. Yes, it's like I am super excited to see how that goes.
Now's a great time too, because I'm looking at Steam. It's the base game is $13 right now. That Platinum Edition with all of the stuff in it is $25. It's 75% discounted.
Bro. Yeah, bro, that's a cop. That's you gotta cop that shit.
Yeah, I might have to get that like right after we get done. Honestly, like that's
dude. Currently downloading it right now as we're speaking.
Yeah, there you go, dude. I would too, but I don't want to bottleneck our stream or anything. But dude, yeah, this is exciting. Like, we just talked about 3 games that are, you know, we're probably gonna get more info about during E3, more info about during PAX East, which starts, you know, next week, actually, I believe, if I remember correctly. You know, there's lots. The next month and a half is just date after date after date. We're going to be getting game drops like crazy, more information like crazy. It's going to be bonkers, but I'm excited for every single bit of it, dude. It's going to be so much fun. Like,
I think we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel from this whole COVID-19 situation that especially hit the game industry hard, with so many things that got pushed back, so many things that when they actually released, they probably shouldn't have. We're not going to speak about that anymore, but just this idea, we're starting to see the steamrolling of the game industry getting back on track, or getting some of these things out that they've been hyping for years and years. We're starting to see some of the things that shook up the industry early on, and some of the lessons that people learned from other developers that may have had some messy flops early or in this last year. We're starting to see people that are like shortening that time frame. Like, I think you're absolutely right. This month, we're going to see probably a good amount of announcements for stuff that's coming out not a year from now, not 2 years from now, but probably in the next 6-8 months. And I think it's exciting because now we're starting to get you know, a lot more traction on new content, new games, new things coming out that are going to keep people excited and interested in all these different brands and these different publishers.
Yeah, big time agree. It's going to be great, dude. I'm excited for all of it. We're tired, but you know, it's going to be a damn good time, dude. Damn good time. But Now, we're going to go ahead and move into our second segment here, our hands-on segment, where we talk a little bit about some awesome games and or movies and or shows that we have been consuming for the past week or since the last time we've had our guest on. Island, my dude, you're our guest. We're going to start out with you. What have you been playing? What have you been watching?
Oh, dear goodness. The last month I've been real Apex focused, but you spoke about Knockout City earlier. EA actually sent me a care package with a lot of stuff promoting the game early, and it was super fun. So I jumped into it, and I had an absolute blast playing Knockout City. That game is so much fun. It's so fast paced, so easy to pick up, but there's also a depth to the way that you can play. I think that was been really fun. Pokemon Snap, the new one, I was playing that on the plane back and forth from New York when I flew out there, and then back and forth from Nebraska when I was going out there. The new Pokemon Snap is, again, nostalgic, and it's nostalgia in its best form. And it's just so good. It's so much fun. And I think now that a lot of the crazy events have happened, I think I'm going to start focusing and trying to, in the evenings, do my backlog and work on some stuff. Sounds like I've got now Dying Light and Horizon to play. So, and Mass Effect. And oh my God, I say, and now I'm like,
Yeah.
now I'm getting a nervous breakdown of like, oh my God, I have so much stuff to do in so much time.
I know, dude. I know. Like it's man. I agree though. Knockout City was probably, one of the most fun I've had outside of Apex for the last month, dude. And I know we're still trying to get Devin warmed up into it because his first experience was drunk on 4 Loco seltzers. But
thanks for the call out.
No, it's okay, baby. It's all right. We're not alcoholics. We just like to have fun. Go ahead.
What I have been watching though is I started Invincible. I know I'm a little late to the party on that one, but Invincible I've watched the first couple episodes. I know I have like 4 more to go. But that has been really fun. And then Yusuke, the Black Samurai.
Yeah, dude, I haven't started yet. Is it good?
I've watched both of these.
Yusuke is good. Very, very good. I've heard, I've watched 1 episode and was hooked, and then everyone's like, it's just top tier.
It's Afro Samurai meets Samurai Champloo.
Without the rampant racism in Afro.
Yeah,
yes, exactly.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yes.
Yeah.
For sure. Island, did you watch Castlevania?
I haven't. That's on my list to watch too. I've had nothing but like, how have you not watched Castlevania? It's one of the best shows on Netflix. Like not animes, shows on Netflix. That's what I'm getting. So that is definitely on my list as well.
Dude, I finally watched it a couple weeks ago, and
You're welcome.
I've gone back and rewatched it 2 times now because it is
like really 3 seasons of it or something like that.
It's 4 seasons. The first season is only 4 episodes, and then each season after that it's only like 9 to 10 episodes depending on the season. But the newest season is such a banger. Oh, dude, it's so good.
Yeah.
I can't even.
I saw a lot of Twitter posts of people like just finished Castlevania and now I'm crying. Oh no. Oh good to know.
Yeah. It's so good. Definitely recommend. Was there anything else you've been watching, hanging out on, experiencing or anything?
Since the last time we got together, I watched the Demon Slayer movie and cried at least 3 times. So that's pretty fun. I've been watching My Hero, the new season of My Hero. I actually, I don't know if it's a hot take or not, but I'm enjoying the crap out of it. A little slower, but it's a lot of character development of a lot of the characters. They're doing the classroom training arc. Class A versus Class B. So I don't know if anyone knows what that is, but man, My Hero has been doing great. It's been fun having that back. We're on a weird anime season where it's like right now it's either My Hero or a bunch of stuff that you're new to. A lot of new animes and stuff like that. So because like the big ones are not showing right now. Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, all of those ones are, and Black Clover's done now. So
yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah, that's sick. Devin, what about you, man?
Well, a lot of Apex this week.
Yep.
Tried out Knockout City for the first time last night. It was pretty good.
It's amazing.
I am still playing Resident Evil 8, but it is fun. I'm getting close to the end. I'm in Heisenberg's factory now.
Near the end of it, based on what you told me.
Yeah.
You're getting near the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of the factory.
I'm kind of complete. Oh, go ahead.
I've just heard the only like really scary part of that is the dollhouse.
Oh yeah,
everything else is more actiony and like maybe thriller, but like not nearly as scary, like creepy or terrifying as the Dollhouse.
Yes,
and I don't like horror games. I don't like jump scare or anything like that. And I've always like kept away from Resident Evil. And a lot of people have been like, it's really not that scary. It's just besides that one section.
Yeah. The thing is that one section, House Beneviento, is like
Horrifying.
Is so horrifying. It makes up for all the non-horrifying stuff you experience later in the game. The thing is too is that's pretty early in the game. And it is
the second main section.
Second house.
Yeah.
The
second
house.
biome that you go to. And it's like they basically just turned it into a like Silent Hill PT homage. And it feels like it. And that part, like I was playing the game and I got to that part probably 1 o'clock in the morning, and that shit
terrible
fucked me up. I wasn't ready for it. I was like, it's just a house, not a huge deal, not a huge deal.
All I know is that they did my girl Lady D dirty by putting her as the first main section.
Oh my god!
I know.
Facts.
So it's a huge surprise that they did it like that, because the marketing was so centered around her. Yeah. But I will say this though, the game is really good. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It does get more action oriented, and it feels like Resident Evil Call of Duty edition at times.
Yeah.
It's super fun. But even with like getting all the weapons and feeling semi overpowered, because it's actually pretty easy to make your own ammo throughout the game. There'll still be parts where you'll turn a corner and it's dark as hell, and you see a brand new enemy that you cannot kill without knowing how to take it down right away, and it'll scare the shit out of you.
It reminds me, the Lady D stuff kind of reminds me of how they marketed what's it called? Or Deadpool 2. Remember when they were marketing it with all of the super team, whatever, and then they killed them off immediately?
Like within like 10 minutes of introducing them.
Why do we do this?
Dude, well,
because it's funny.
Now, granted, I can probably say with confidence that was done intentionally. I think.
Oh, it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I was crying.
Right. I think. The things with the Lady D stuff is I think that was more of a consumer fault. Like I don't buy in that it was completely intentional until after we made it our fault, and then they capitalized on it. I think they were like, you know what, we're just gonna double down with this love for the big lady, as one would say in Game of Thrones, and the big woman, yeah.
Great. Lady D is actually Brienne of Tarth in cosplay. Love it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and I stand that completely. You know, but they did do our boo boo dirty. Her and her daughters. Yeah. You know, like it was unfortunate.
Yeah, but the daughters were very easy too in the game.
Fight.
Like yeah, they were. It was like you definitely run into them, but it definitely went very quickly. I was kind of surprised how quickly you go through that portion of the game. But other than that, I've been playing a lot of Mass Effect Legendary Edition. A lot. I love it.
We're working on it.
Yeah, we'll I mean, I'll be mentioning this probably every episode for the next month and a half, because that whole edition is over 200 hours of gameplay. So yeah,
between all three games, I can see that.
All the DLC, but the story is so impactful and it pulls you in so easily. And it has the level of lore in that is just like watching a Lord of the Rings movie, and the fact they came up with that all themselves. They had no source material. BioWare created that whole universe and everything. So I still love that game. And other than that, I finished Yasuke, and I also saw Demon Slayer Mugen Train like last week, and it was great. So that's about it.
Don't be mad at me, but again, I gotta jump on the Demon Slayer hype train myself, because I've heard nothing but amazing things about it, and I just man, like I've been slacking in the anime department for a long time now.
The longer you wait, the more that will be available eventually for you to binge.
True, fair.
Yeah, there you go.
There you
I
go.
have
That's,
my sister when she has a show she likes, she doesn't watch it when it's live until it's all done, and then when it's done, she just sits down and binges for 2 days straight.
dude, that's what
That's
my
how I do
partner
it
does
for the most
too.
part.
Yeah,
Sounds like addiction to me, but whatever.
and that's
I mean,
the tea.
I got a huge backlog. What can I say?
Dude, no, I'm
That
pretty
was
sure
just
all
on it
three
now.
of us have massive
Yeah.
backlogs. I'm sure.
Oh God, so deep. I
Yeah.
don't want you to. I actually turned my Steam library. You can actually turn it to only the things you have downloaded, and I have it turned to that because if I uncheck that and I see all the things that are not downloaded, I have at least 200 games in my Steam library I've never played.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, winter sale, oh, spring sale, oh, summer sale. I'm like, oh, that game always sounded fun.
Mhm.
Let's play. We'll grab that and we'll play that some Apex. Open up Apex immediately.
I like
one
just
game you
started.
didn't have to buy.
Yeah.
Dude, I like just started PC gaming, like when we started doing this podcast, basically, and I'm already 30 games deep on my Steam. Like it's been 2 months and I'm already like 20, 30 games deep, and I'm worried. I'm sweating. Like it's
I'm
bad.
not even. I don't even have a job anymore. My whole thing is full time streaming, and I still don't know how to get through like an Apex, like a log of games when all I want to do is just play Apex every day. So I'm at the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take a month from streaming where I don't play Apex. I like literally cannot play Apex, and all I'm gonna do is just a game a day. I'm just gonna put 15 hours into a game, knock it out, and go to the next one.
Content brainstorming. There you go, dude. That's the way to do it. Way to do it. Boys, I had been playing Knockout City. That was my thing the other night. It was my thing every night since then. Obviously still riding the Apex train as well. I mentioned last week that me and my partner started watching Game of Thrones. We're going to be continuing that this weekend. Yeah. Because their dealio is that she doesn't like watching things as they're at the peak of their hype. She likes to wait until they've died down in hype, so that she's not feeling like biased about it. And so they will hit me up and be like, hey, I think it's time to get into this. And I put out a poll that said, okay, what is the next? We just finished Marvel. We got all the Marvel content done with. What is the next thing that, yeah, I know, right? And she loved it. She loved every single bit of it. Like,
Good.
Oh, I'm so proud. I'm so happy about it.
She understands the hype now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and
That's
her
a lot
favorite
of content to go through too.
Oh yeah, well it was like a 5-month project basically, just watching.
Have you also done the Disney channels, the Falcon Winter Soldier and the WandaVision?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like her favorite character is Falcon. Ever since Falcon shows up in Captain America, they were like, dude, I love Sam. Sam is amazing. My fucking favorite. And I'm like, sick. Just wait. And
Anthony Mackie's hot, so whatever.
Oh, he's a fucking beautiful looking dude. Oh my
Absolutely.
God. Like, oh my gosh, man. Like, he deserves all the love that he's getting now, especially being our new Captain America. You fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. When Marvel released that sizzle reel, like I think a couple of weeks ago, where they're like, guess what? We have all of our stuff scheduled. And they released like back to back to back. This is when this movie's coming out. This movie over the next 3 years. I got we've just saw the Eternals trailer a few days ago, which is exciting. Eternals is gonna be awesome. They're hyping up Black Panther 2, which is really exciting to see what they're gonna do, especially in the wake of the tragic wake of Chadwick Boseman no longer being with us. And just some of the movies I didn't even know they were making, and they're like, hey, guess what? We're on this right now. It's just been Marvel it feels like they're never not going to be on top.
Yeah, I actually just read an article today from Screen Rant how how like Sony's doing all their Spider-Man universe movies. Mm-hmm. Well, I just read an article how that is actually going to be connected to the MCU now because of the multiverse that's being introduced, and that there's also a rumor circulating that the main villain of Spider-Man 3 No Way Home is going to be none other than William Dafoe's Green Goblin.
Let's
go.
I
mean, that would fit because what I've heard, I don't know if their rumors are confirmed, but that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield have been confirmed for Spider-Man 3. So now all three of them are going to reprise It wouldn't surprise me if they bring back Willem Dafoe for to reprise Green Goblin. And honestly, that would just imagine the Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin going up against other people from the MCU. Like,
ooh.
bring it. Like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, the possibilities are just.
It's gonna change like the universe, especially like they got Morbius coming out, and right at the end they show Michael Keaton as Vulture, like in prison, like talking to him.
Morbius. That's right, they do.
Yeah, so that's already an MCU link.
Isn't it Leto? Is Leto being Morbius? Is Leto Morbius?
Yeah.
That trailer was also fantastic, and I was very surprised by it. And they have. Is it MCU that is bringing back not Slade Blade?
Yes. Yeah. MCU is
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah,
that looks good.
Yep.
The movie's
more spiritual stuff.
And to be fair, on the other side, you got DC doing cool stuff like Suicide Squad 2, which actually looks pretty fun.
Yeah.
You got Robert Pattinson as Batman, and that actually looks pretty crazy. Like,
so the rumor behind that too is that's going to be the same universe as the Joker, and that's supposed to be like year 2 Batman.
Joaquin Phoenix,
the Batman. Yeah.
Shit.
No shit. If you look at the cinematography, and it has like the same film shading and everything too that the Joker does. Yeah, and that's why it's also looks so dark and more of a detective-based Batman than an action-packed Batman. It's
supposed to be like his origin, like a little going back.
Yeah, year 2.
Yeah,
his second year of being Batman.
Was it not Arkham City? Remember the Arkham games? And there was a prequel game where your Batman was kind of like it was during like Christmas time, and Batman hadn't had the experience yet, so he was still pretty raw in the way that he treated criminals and treated fights. I forget which one it was. It was right after Arkham City. They did like a prequel game. It wasn't Arkham Knight.
Arkham Origins.
Yes, Origins.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah.
And it was a younger Bruce Wayne who was like a little more like ready to fight and like did it and not as methodical. And he treated Alfred not as good as he did in the later games. Because he was young, he was a new crime fighter, a new Batman, and that's kind of what this feel like. Robert Pattinson absolutely beating the hell out of bad guys instead of just subduing them. That kind of gives me those vibes of like he's young, he's still just getting a handle on what does it mean to be a protector of the city, etc. Kind of thing. And so that's what's really exciting. And it's gonna
be way dope, dude. Do you think they're gonna put like a blue filter just for Robert Pattinson so he can get some of his Twilight vibes in there?
Make him a little sparkly, just for fun.
I know what you are.
So Robert Pattinson is actually a fantastic actor.
He is.
Everything he's done outside of Twilight is good. I've literally cried to his movies, to tell you the truth. Like,
he was a huge indie actor for a while too. He did a lot of like Sundance Film Festival movies and things like that for a while. And you're right. I think that people kind of typecast people that didn't know him as an actor kind of typecast him as being like the sparkly vampire. And of the people that came out of the Twilight franchise, he has really shown a huge range as an actor in the way that he's portrayed him different characters. He's not just the moody dude. Like he's actually really good at what he does.
Yeah. Did you watch Tenet? He's in Tenet.
Oh, I haven't seen Tenet. Tenet was one of those, again, that was one in the middle of the pandemic where I'm like, I'm not going to a movie theater to see things.
It's on HBO Max right now.
It is.
It just got added. Yeah.
Look at you with your money. Okay.
No, what?
Big spender on HBO Max over there. Meanwhile, I'm over here borrowing my father-in-law's Netflix.
That's actually the deal I have with my parents. That's the deal I have with my parents is I use their Netflix. They use my HBO Max. That's the deal we have.
We signed up for it yesterday so we could watch the Friends reunion.
Yeah, right. I need to watch that actually.
Yeah, same, dude. Yeah, definitely watch Tenet. It's kind of a mind fuck, but it's obviously because of who directed and wrote it. But it's not quite Inception. It's not quite as good as the other one, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it's still a good movie. Don't get me wrong, and it has the
Yeah,
but it's still a good movie. It's not as good as Inception. Inception holds a special place in my heart. I love that movie.
Never seen it. Sorry.
Dude, you should watch it.
Son of a bitch! You did not just say
you should watch it.
You haven't watched Inception?
I mean,
Doctor Shutter Island for the first time tomorrow. So.
Oh yeah, that's really good too.
I don't see a lot of movies really, like unless I'm like really jazzed on it. Like my wife and I started doing this thing where like every award season for the Oscars, we would watch all the best pictures, and it forced us to watch movies we otherwise would have been like, And we've found that we liked a lot of them. Like The Irishman. Oh, I love The Irishman.
Dude,
It was a
that movie
3-hour-long
is
movie
hard.
that I would not have liked.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have watched, but if I watched it because of the Oscar thing, like, oh,
yeah,
top tier.
Yeah. No, they definitely showed that I don't normally like really long movies, but if you put that and Justice League up to each other, The Irishman is way better.
Endgame, 3 hours and 15 minutes of Endgame. That was.
I'll watch Endgame back to back. I don't care. I'll rewatch it every time.
100%. Let's fucking go.
On your left.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what the only things really I wanted to mention this week, because I haven't been too deep dived onto a lot of stuff. I've been going back and watching a lot of like older movies. Is kind of what I was telling Devin, is that I've been on a weird like old alien movie kick. Like the other day, what the fuck was it? What was it called? I don't remember what the name is because it's like a one word thing. Hold on.
Isolation or something like that.
Hold on.
Wait, no,
what'd you say?
Was it Arrival?
Isolation.
Arrival.
It was
yes,
Arrival.
Arrival.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it was.
Isolation's the game.
Yeah, I know. Right. Arrival was pretty good. I was pretty stoked about it. Not worth me, going into crazy deal because it's like a 5-year-old movie, something like that. But it was good. I've been on a weird like post-apocalyptic kick. Watch Greenland on HBO Max as well. Whenever you get it, Island. You can borrow mine if you want, dog. Like I will 100% let you borrow mine. I don't even care. Greenland is awesome. I have a really like soft spot in my heart and on my genitals for Gerard Butler, and all right. And he kills it in Greenland. He kills it. It's a really surprisingly good movie because it does not look like it should be good. It looks like it should be absolute ass, but it is good. It has a couple parts that are a little heartstring tuggy in that movie, and it is a wild ride. Like once things start kicking off, which is like 15 minutes into the movie, it is just non fucking stop until the last like 15 minutes of the movie, and so it's a pretty big one, right? So yeah, I think that's good for everything we've been doing for our hands-on segment. Now let's focus on Daddy Island right here with us real quick, Zod.
What's up, bro?
Zod is lit. Dude, Island. Again, we mentioned it before. You have been killing it all this time now. You've been making step after step after step. The first thing I want to ask you here is, What is your next big move you want to do?
Oh, that's a good question. I've been thinking really deeply about what is the next thing for me, and like where, being realistic with where I am in my content creator journey, and my reach, my outreach, my size. It's a difficult road, especially with some of the attention that was paid this last month, because there was a lot of help given. Like being put on the front page of Twitch was a big deal. I think there was somewhere along the 360,000 people that tuned in at any given point, and not to dismiss that, but also understand, like, is that what I normally pull? Like, how do I market myself? I can't just like try to use these numbers and like pull the fleece over brands or over people's eyes and be like, look, this is what I do, when that's not normal. So I think I need to give myself a little bit of time here to see, like, what am I going to, like, is my content going to hold up to that numbers? But honestly, for me, I want, my long-term goals are to sign to a org as a content creator. I'd love to sign to anything like something. I think my 2 dream orgs would be SOAR or 100 Thieves. But again, continue to grind, continue to work, and prove myself worthy of that. And then start to look at how to get sponsored, or how to be a brand ambassador for companies that are like social justice minded, that I speak up on things that I care about, and they prominently display women or people of color in their management circles. So I think I want to continue advocating for that, and also just doing more charity stuff. So yeah, a lot of nonsense bullshit to say, like, I'm thinking through next steps, but I'd love to sign to a content creator org one day, and hopefully represent some brands soon.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm even like you jump into being a part of a side quest. That's perfect. Like honestly, like when I saw that, I was like, dude, like there's no better team for Island to be fucking working with, dude. Like that's a great place to be for you, dude. Devin, did you have any questions for Island off the bat?
Well, I just want to know how you got how you were able to get the Apex tournament set up, and like who were your like your main contributors to getting that all taken care of, you know?
Yeah, so this is one of those things where like I said, I got Twitch reached out to me and asked if I would be the representative for Hawaiian culture. I said, yeah, sure, that'd be great. And I started thinking, I was like, look, what do I do this month to show that I'm not just gonna try to take the spotlight and focus on me, or focus on, like, I don't want to just stream for 30 days and like be like, oh, it's like, come now that I have more people, check me out, or whatever. I wanted to do good. And I was like, you know, what could I do? And I had a friend of mine who had actually run a charity tournament, or did a charity drive for Waikiki Health, which is the organization we raise money for in general. And when we're talking about it, and I talked to him about it, and he was like, yeah, they have a program called Yo, which is youth outreach. It's just for it's dedicated toward providing resources and housing and things like that for homeless youth in Hawaii. And not many people know, but homelessness is rampant in Hawaii, and it disproportionately affects Native Hawaiians and youth in Hawaii. So I was like, look, I'd love to raise money for that. So how can we do this? And I had some more friends over at the Realm GG, which is a platform that is known for hosting events. And they have just started recently providing access to private servers for even regular people. And then with, you could pay a little extra and they'll help do like scoreboard setup and stuff like that. And so I was like, look, I honestly, in my head, I was like, I reserved the private servers. I was like, look, maybe I'll just do a small tournament and be like, do something, whatever. And then in my head, I was like, you know what? You've made connections over the last couple of years. Let's start shooting some shots. So I started sending blank emails saying, hey, this is my name. I'm doing this thing. I'd love for you to be involved. To people like Nice Wig, Draynilla, Logi, some of these really big names in the Apex community that I built relationships with. And I was like, look, I understand. I know may seem kind of small. This isn't sponsored by anyone. I literally didn't sell it. I was like, there's no pay. I even said, I was like, there's no prize pool. I'm just trying to do this and, get a lot of some big names on board to try and raise some money for this charity. Thankfully, a lot of them said yes. They're like, oh, this sounds awesome. Let's do it. And then I have a couple of friends that, like I said, that are in the game writing industry that have connections at all these major brands. I also just came off of being getting to be part of the Play Apex Season 9 preview event. So I got to play early, but that means I had some contacts over at EA. And then my friends gave me some contacts over at Corsair and Elgato. And I reached out to them. I said, hey, I'm doing this thing. I'm starting to sell, we have started confirming some really big names. I was like, look, I'm confirming these names. Here's my setup. Here's everything. I didn't hear back from them for like 3 weeks until about like a week and a half before the event. And then all of a sudden I start getting emails and they're like, hey, this sounds awesome. We'd love to be involved. Here's what we can give. And I'm like, whoa, okay. So we got to figure this out. One of those things where like Twitch had actually reached out to me and they're like, hey, you're part of our celebrations for the month. We love what you're doing. We'd love to donate $5,000 to the organization.
Hey.
Stream to kind of build hype, but also to just show that we support this. And then Respawn also at the same time were like, hey, we'd love to do a $5,000 match, your first 5,000, and they'll also provide prizes. So because of the context and reaching out to all these different people, they provided our prize pool basically. So, which was cool because even without the prize pool, all of these people were like down to just play for fun. And then at that point, I was like, all right, I need to start reaching out to people. So I had my mods get really on board. I was like, look, I need you to do this, you do this, you do this. And then we had, I brought on my friend Clark, who quit my day job, who casted with me, did a fantastic job. But we were just sitting there planning back and forth, like, how do we do this? We met with the technical producers over at Realm GG, and they actually set aside time to work with us directly and specifically and help us make the event into what it was. But it was a lot of, I have a full OneNote of like how to run an event now because I was documenting everything I did. We're actually today sending out surveys to all the players, all the captains, everyone that worked on it to see how we can do better for next year because this is our first year and we raised $21,000. I truly believe that next year our goal is 50 and the year after that our goal is 100. I want to be raising $100,000 in one day for this event because I feel like the more that we can put planning into it, the more that we can make it a show, a production, we could do really, really, really good stuff. And all in the name of an incredible charity that is doing good work in my homeland for my home people.
Dude.
It's really amazing. It's really cool to see, and it's also very impressive all at the same time. So like big shouts to you on getting that all put together there.
Yeah, dude,
Appreciate it.
seriously. Congratulations, man. Like I
Yeah.
just watching the progress over the course of you getting out that all set up. I saw you like teasing some stuff there in a minute, like, bro, like y'all don't even fucking know. And then I saw you
Mhm.
make those announcements and I was like, yo, we really didn't know. Like this is hype, dude. And then it kept getting
I think when I was first saying like you guys don't understand May is going to be huge, I think people were like, oh okay, he's gonna like play this game or he's gonna get a really cool like he's gonna play with this really cool person. I was like, no, I've been grinding behind the scenes for the last couple of weeks to get stuff ready because I was like I had announcement after announcement after announcement of cool stuff, and now we're at the end of all this. Now I'm like, all right, cool. All the hypes die, or the hype will eventually die from all this stuff. Like how, like let's capital, like how do I capitalize? How do I continue growing? How do I continue showing? And not that this was like these were all plays for attention or whatever like that. Because again, I'm the focus of yesterday was on the charity, but I want to show people that that's who I am daily. Like I am a kind generosity. Like our stream isn't based on like just being super high level gameplay, but also being a shitty person. Like I care more about people and the Ohana and the community. And so,
yeah.
but this was just a really cool way to show that in a really, really big light.
And like that's really the biggest reason like we keep bringing you onto the show to hang out with us. Like one, like we love you to death. You know, like you're a really really good dude. You've been a homeboy since day one. Like you've been awesome, and just like you are such like a genuine dude when it comes to this stuff because like you look at other streamers that you know are fresh in and they very much try to like talk about like being about the shits and they you know talk about wanting to care about people, but you have an energy about you that is so just like genuinely like this is what I give a shit about and nothing else matters is because this is what I give a shit about and you care. You actually care and you put forth the work to show that you care about these things that you're so passionate about. And dude, seriously, like we're happy to have you on at any fucking day, period, because you are such a good dude and you strive for bringing such a light to this world that is so important, man. And like I told you before, like since day one, like I've been ecstatic like since the day I tweeted at you when I found you and I saw a video someone had posted of you talking about like doing this for the Aloha, doing it for the Ohana, doing it because our people show love. And that's what our people are about. And you want to hand that to other people and give that part of our culture to others around us. You've been fucking nailing it, dude. Every step of the way. I'm so stoked for you.
And you honor me with your words, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, dude, of course, and it's awesome. And anyways, that's the end of the show. No,
one thing I want to say too that is kind of cool to see is like when we first met and first started doing this, I think you only had like 1.3 thousand followers, and you jumped up to like 3.2, and that's just like in a month, maybe a month and a week, you know, which is it's cool to see. Like you are getting that growth there, so it's just going to be fun to like see you go along with that and accomplish the goals that you've been setting.
I think it's interesting too because on a platform like Twitch, it's an exponential growth pattern. It's a lot of people try to have a kind of a tough time breaking that first 1,000. But once you break that, like you start to like it becomes people notice you more because your view count because your follow count's higher, and so you get more people coming in. And it becomes exponential. So I think that just kind of goes and says, you know, don't give up. Like you're gonna find your rhythm. You find the thing that makes you. It took me a while to find. Funny enough, it took me a while to find that I wanted to just focus my stream on Aloha Spirit and stuff like that. But once I found that and started really pushing into that, it becomes kind of second nature to do. And so, just encouraging to anyone who's watching or anyone that you know it'll happen. You just sometimes it just takes more time than you expect. More often than not, it'll take more time than you expect.
And it's awesome too because it's like, you know, we've discussed this before, where as Polynesians, like we are minorities amongst minorities, and there's not very many island folk in the content creation space, you know, like there's obviously a few, there's a handful of us brothers out there, but it's like there's not nearly as many as, you know, the other rest of the umbrella under AAPI. There's not as many of us amongst BIPOC creators, generally speaking, you know, and little, you know, much less the entirety of content creation itself. And so it's nice to see you like be this face that Twitch picked to really like push this side of representation for Hawaiian people, for Polynesian people, and have you do it in such a way that is so loving and caring and like dude, I kind of want to cry now thinking about it, because you've been just like just nailing this, just really just like being that face, and like you mentioned earlier, like you were saying, like I have this attention now, I have this spotlight that's on me. What the fact that you said, what can I do to put it towards something good? Like, fuck off, man. You're such a beautiful human being in so many ways, dude. Seriously.
I think there's just so much. The streaming world is such it's a competition at all times. Like you can be friends. Like I have homies of mine that I love to death, but when we stream, we're both like, there's a finite audience, right? And it's created this energy of like, if you're a Twitch streamer, you have to fight to be seen and noticed and recognized, and like people to stay with you. And it breeds a lot of hostility or anger or like passive aggressive feelings towards other things. And I've realized that like, if I let that fester, if I let that become part of my streaming career, it's just going to get worse. And so when you live with an open hand, it's a lot easier to receive, right? So I've tried to do a lot better job, and I'm not perfect, but when I think about my streaming career, what can I do for others, or what can I do to make others feel uplifted? You try to approach it with an open hand, and you're more likely to receive at the same time. Versus people that are like, when I stream, I need it to be focused about me, and I'm trying to just self promo, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm the focus. And I'm like, look, we have these platforms. People are starting to tune into Twitch streamers more than they're starting to watch TV. Like, we have an opportunity for us to do real good with people that are, you know, that are influential. There are people that have come into streams multiple times that are like important at other companies, and when you can show them that it's about treating other people with respect and with love, doing things for the community, we're just creating a better place on Twitch.
And that's what we need to do. I mean, like there's a lot of really toxic, poisonous fucking environments that you can pass by on Twitch these days, and it's having
shouts out to
breeds that toxicity too. Like it makes it worse, and then people watching take that and they take it into their other parts of their life, and it just is this cyclical thing that makes it worse and worse and worse. But you just need to create something different.
Right, Devin, what were you gonna say though?
I was just gonna say shouts out to Tango Style here in chat. He's really liking what we're all doing here, and he's been really lively here, and looks like he gave you a follow here, Island.
Hey, love you, Tango.
Yeah. We also got someone that just jumped in.
Got a question.
Just said I have an interesting gaming question for this panel. So once
let's hear it.
We'll do that. But yeah, dude, like this is incredible having you on. It's incredible having you on every time, because it's like we get a chance to sit here and just nerd out with you and and just do the thing. You know what I mean? Just like talk about all the things that we love, and talk about like supporting each other, and talk about like just loving everything we love, and loving other people, and loving this communities that we're starting to breed and like grow and like and take with us. And so it's been awesome, man. It's awesome seeing your growth. It's awesome seeing you take off from here and like and making big steps, and you're only going to make even bigger steps, dude. Well, dude, this Geiki show that you've been doing, like this is going to blow the fuck up in just a matter of a couple of years, dude. And I'm like so stoked to see you like make that, like watch it be the next big fucking Apex tournament, and you are going to make something beautiful of it, dude, which I hope that's your next game plan. It's just make that like the next summer game fest, you know what I mean? That's gonna be
I think that's like kind of like, again, the focus isn't on making it big, because like, again, I don't want this to be something where it becomes the focus is on the tournament or on the people, but more on the cause. But Lulu now has thrown her third annual like $100,000 tournament, which is huge prize pool and is a great content creator thing. And one day I want to have something where it's that big, where people are just scrambling to try and be part of it, and we have staff that is ready to make this something big. I agree with you. I think that we've seen enough, and this really just goes to show that the Apex community is built different. Like they are kind people at heart, and then we all band together for things that people in our community care about. And so, again, like I said, our goal, our 3-year goal from now is to be raising $100,000 in a single night, and I think that's fully doable.
Oh yeah, it is, and it's gonna be dope to have it. So we have Dark Sage here, with dropping us with that question real quick, and then we'll move on to kind of doing our last couple questions with you. So Dark Sage 9117 asks, one of my favorite series of games is historical war games, and I have heard that the next Call of Duty is supposed to go back to World War II. I am very curious today if it would at all be possible to ever make a game from the Axis point of view where you play as a regular German soldier and add a human element to them instead of the overused conception that all Germans were these evil people. So I want to take this head on real quick, that this is a little bit of a strange perception, because I don't think that there was ever an overused conception that all Germans were evil people. I don't think that was the case.
It's not.
Yeah,
Nazis are evil people,
right?
They were mutually, like, you did not, like, just because you were German did not immediately make you a Nazi. However, I have a couple of interesting perspectives of this, because we just housed a foreign exchange student from Germany who talked about what the perceptions of what he was French German. He talked about the perceptions of German people for a long time after that, even if they were never involved, because the station of like Nazism was in Germany. The leader of the German people was Adolf Hitler. It colors the way a lot of the world sees German people in general. That being said, my wife is Jewish. Like, my wife is Jewish by blood, has a very deep connection to her roots in that aspect, and it would be hurtful to an entire group of people to try to humanize, because when you're saying from the Axis perspective, if it's a shooter, you're not just a general German person, you're playing a Nazi. Yeah. And if you try to humanize that is doing a disservice to what hundreds of thousands of people gave their lives fighting against, was this concept
millions.
Of hate. I get where the concept is coming from of trying to humanize the German people, like, and the German people that assisted the Allied forces, the things like that. I get that. But if you're playing a shooter game and you're trying to humanize German from the Axis perspective, you're trying to humanize Nazis, and that, just, to me, I just don't think that's worth. We're already seeing there's a lot of vitriol going on right now over, there was a game that has been shown that a lot of people in the Middle East are trying to say, don't make this game. I think it's like Battle of Fallujah or something like that.
Yes, I think it's like 6 days of Fallujah or something.
7 days of Fallujah, yeah.
7 days, yeah. But
the concept that you're humanizing these war crimes against a Middle Eastern people that are still fighting just to be seen as people, that not all Arab people are bombers or terrorists and things like that. That same concept of, like, some games need to not be made just to glorify or to do those things. I don't think that, I think what you were saying, Arnell, earlier was right. I don't think the conception has been that German people are evil. It is 100% Nazis are evil, and people have done a bad job of separating what is German from Nazi.
Yes. Correct.
Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, it's an interesting question. I don't know where you sit on it, Devin, but
well, I agree with you guys full-heartedly, and, like, as you know, like, most of my heritage comes from Austrian and German culture, which also contradicts a lot of my other heritage just from that light. But thankfully, I had nobody who was, aligned with Axis powers, at least that I know of in my blood. Yeah. But I mean, look, especially with everything that's happened in the past, no sane developer or publisher would tie their name to something that glorifies the perception of a Nazi soldier. Yeah. Nobody would do that. That is literally putting nails in the coffin if you're going to do that. I don't think that is something that's ever going to happen personally on a full-scale AAA level, especially from a developer like Call of Duty. I mean, they don't even put the Nazi symbols in their games anymore. you know, they don't put that symbolism in their games really.
Let me follow up real quick. So this will be the last because I don't want to take up the rest of the show with this stuff. So Darkseid says, I misspoke a bit. My fault. I was talking about the wear marked, not the stormtroopers. My fault for that. What I had meant by humanizing them was the idea of letting you play as a regular German soldier in the wear marked, who is just trying to survive in a crazy world at the time where everyone is at war or something like that. I mean, like, let's be real here. I think the semantics are a side point. The idea is that I don't think that this has never been done before. I haven't played enough of Wolfenstein to really know like what the demographics is of like the character you play as in Wolfenstein, but I'm pretty sure that kind of touches on something like this. I'm pretty sure that there's a number of different FPS military games have kind of talked about this stuff before, without really breaching that boundary that we had talked about, you know, are you humanizing something that should not be humanized? I think really just to sort of end on this subject here, I think, you know, there is space for something like that, but those waters need to be treaded lightly because, you know, as a podcast here that specifically focuses on marginalized people, we would be doing marginalized people a disservice by saying that there's any space for something like that to go that far. So with that said, though, Island, the last thing really that I want to ask you about here is you need to get that spam endorsement. So what can we do to get you that spam endorsement, baby? You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Let's go, dude.
Right back there, you see the spam plushie is the first thing I've ever received in my
That's a
PO
plushie?
box.
Holy
Someone
shit.
spam plushie. Hold on, let me see if I can grab it real quick.
Do it. Show us.
Oh my god.
It's spam plushie.
Oh my god.
That's amazing.
Oh my god,
So
dude.
cute. Someone sent that to me in my PO box. It's the first thing I've actually ever received in my PO box. So,
okay.
So spam. It's funny enough. Spam and Zoa are the two that I'm actually kind of shooting for as a Pacific Islander. Those are the two. One day that I'd love to be sponsored by. As both brands that are led, or at least Zoa, I know for sure is led by people of color and by women. And just a product I believe in, and then spam because eat spam really daily.
Tango Style in chat says spam is my jam, y'all.
Yes, it is. Spam is the forever ingredient. It's amazing, dude. I don't have my can on me. I actually just ate one the other day, so I gotta replace that pretty soon. But anyways, dude, Island, do you have anything you want to drop on us before we send you out of here or whatever? Any announcements or anything you want to make?
Nothing huge. Asia Pacific Islander Heritage Month lasts through the rest of May, so please go support other Pacific Islander creators. You can do that now because Twitch has actually added Pacific Islander as a tag, so you can search Pacific Islander content creators that way. Also, hundreds and hundreds of other tags, so go support Black creators, LGBTQ creators, etc. Trans creators, especially as the people who really pushed on this movement to get more inclusive tags. Please go support trans creators. Next month is June. Please go support content pride creators. I will be doing some stuff to celebrate and raise money for the Transgender Legal Defense Fund with Team SideQuest. But focus more, give your attention and focus to the creators that have been struggling and fighting their entire lives to be who they are. And I think that is the most important thing. So strong shout out for a lot of those creators. I will be featuring a lot of them on my streams and featuring them, hosting and posting about them on Twitter as well. So
awesome, dude. Sick. Island, where can people find you, my dude?
Yeah, so I am IslandStyle on Twitch, IslandStyle at IslandStyle_ on Twitter. I hope to get that name changed one day when I get verified, but that's probably 5 years down.
You'll get it.
I'll get that. So I'm on TikTok as well as IslandStyle. And I'm on Instagram technically as well. I'm starting to work on trying to get that content out, but my main places are Twitch and Twitter if you want to find me.
Sick. Dude. All right. Well, everyone at home, thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with us, because this has been the Good Kraken Podcast, a show for nerdy, marginalized peoples, giving you the video game and pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you wanted to hear, live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Saturday at 1 p.m. right here on twitch.tv/Good Kraken Show. If you enjoyed the show, you can support us by subscribing below going to our YouTube channel by clicking the link in the About section of our Twitch channel and clicking that bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Good Kraken with an exclamation mark and leaving a review there. And until next time, boys, stop AAPI hate and happy Asian American Pacific Island Heritage Month. It's been tight. It's been fun. We're stoked to have y'all, and y'all have a good day. We love you.
Mahalo, guys.